Welcome to O2E with Nick E, a place where we can help your experiences go from ordinary to extraordinary. And today we've got a very special, well, two special guests. We've got Melissa Gears, Kids in Aquatics Regional Leader, also known as Mama Gears, and one of her five boys, yes, five boys, one of her five boys, Josh. So, Gears and Josh, welcome. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
What do you say? Thanks, we're excited.
So today, Gears, we're going to talk about inclusion and inclusion as it relates to children with special needs. So when we hear the word special needs, I know there's probably a lot of different interpretations. What do you think of, or with your experience, what does special needs mean to you?
Sure. Well, special needs can be anything from kids that have, or could be not even kids and adults that have any kind of learning difficulty, physical disability, or emotional or behavior difficulties. So it can be things like autism to epilepsy, or even like visual or hearing impairments. So it's a very vague term that like incorporates just kids that might just need some special assistance or support.
This is something very near and dear to your heart. Explain to the audience why you're so passionate about this and so knowledgeable.
Knowledgeable. Well, I was forced to be knowledgeable because I have five, like you said, I have five amazing boys. And two of my boys actually kind of fall into that special needs category. I have a child with autism. Who is that? Who's my child with autism?
I don't know.
Joshua. And then I have a child that's hard of hearing.
Wyatt.
Wyatt, yes.
Wyatt, yeah.
And I've watched them grow up in what can be at times a really harsh world. And the reality is that these boys are like the most amazing kids that you will ever meet, full of life, and they can do anything everyone else can do. They just need a little bit of grace and understanding.
If we just took the time to understand a bit, to educate ourselves, and as you said, to show some grace and some love and care, that the world would be a better place, and it would probably be a lot easier for children like Josh and like White and all the amazing children out there with special needs to be able to fit in to different social camp-like settings, aquatic-like settings. So what are some of those things that we as leaders, we as facilitators of kids programs, what are some things that we can either look for or things that we can do?
First and foremost, to just kind of get to know the kiddos, you're going to start to realize the things that they do have trouble with. And then have that open dialogue with those parents to see like what kinds of things we can do. And you'll be amazed how many things we can adapt and provide for them in our spaces.
And now I know that we aren't able to offer one-on-one care, but there are still a lot of different things we can do, right?
The number one thing that I get calls about as regional leader right now, and I'm sure you're familiar with this as well, Nick, is those children that are on the spectrum or have autism. And we're seeing more and more of those sensory difficulties. And a lot of times what triggers that is overstimulation. When there's a lot of noise, when there's a lot of people around, that can be too much for a child with autism to actually comprehend or understand. It's a neurological thing for those children. So sometimes we make quick judgments and we think like they're throwing tantrums, but in reality, in those moments, it's just too much happening for them and their brain cannot process everything that's around them. There's things that we can do. I know I've talked a lot to my clubs about having a sensory kit on hand. So things like headphones and some fidget toys. And when we see a child,
some texture stuff too. I've seen those in clubs recently. I've seen these kits that you have recommended, and all the kids leaders and aquatics leaders are saying they're working. It's working. This is wonderful. Josh,
what?
You get the next question. Are you ready, buddy? All right. Josh, what are some of the things that might get you upset, either in school or maybe at Lifetime, at camp?
I don't know. People didn't know. People being upset.
people saying no. He doesn't like to be told no. He can't process that no. And as silly as it sounds, like sometimes we think that again is just the child, but really, like, again, it's the way that brain processes that word no. But it really is a neurological response that they can't process what's happening, nor can they process the correct response to it. So, being able to catch those moments before they're happening is crucial.
Yeah, that goes back to partnering with the parents, knowing the children that you're working with as well, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Having that relationship. So, Josh, tell us the things that make you happy. Tell us the things that you love that you're able to do, or things that maybe
Be by himself. So when you get upset, when Josh gets upset, what are the things that help you calm down?
Even
Breathing.
stay away from many people.
Yep, we take time. We go away from some people, maybe for a minute. We breathe. Do you have a weighted blanket that helps you sometimes?
Yes.
Yes.
That
Do you wear headphones?
Yes.
Yes, and that helps you sometimes. What other things? Oh, Josh, tell them what you really like when you're really upset. What do you really like mommy to do?
Visit.
Do you really like hugs?
I like it.
Yes. Do hugs make you feel better?
They just make me feel.
hug. See, Josh, I love hugs too. I wish I could give you a great big hug right now.
Joshua is really good at making choices. So if we catch him before he's upset, Josh, what will help you right now? And he has a chart that will help him. So that's something, again, when you partner with parents, maybe they can provide you with that chart. We have a chart that we go to school with, and he can point to whether or not he wants to take a couple deep breaths. Does he want his headphones? Does he want his weighted blanket? But I guarantee you, if you partner with the parents, you'll find one or two things that absolutely can be choices in our spaces.
Yeah, and I love that Lifetime has a history of finding a way to say yes and trying to do the right thing. And I know when I worked in a club, there was a child that she had Down syndrome, and she was about to turn 12. And she was not ready to go upstairs on the fitness floor. And she was just amazing in the academy. She was set up for success. And we worked with her parents. We flipped her birth year back in the system. At the time, it didn't have the ages on the stickers in the Kids Academy. And so she had another 2 years really where she could come in the Kids Academy. She played, she had a great time, and no one knew the difference. I think things like that are just a great way that Lifetime can continue to provide inclusion and to really serve everyone. So, Gears, if you had any parting words, any inspiration, or really just like, you know what, you've got the audience, you got the attention, what would you like to communicate about inclusion and working with kids with special needs?
That there is no greater joy than being able to provide a bit of, and it's a tough word what I'm going to say here, and but a bit of normalcy in what is kind of a crazy world for these guys. So really, if you see them in the space and having a good time, oh my gosh, you guys, these two boys, this one and Wyatt, are the most resilient, happiest children that you will meet. And when they can be in an environment with other kids and feel included in that environment, oh my gosh, and the reward that you will have by being able to see that and be a part of that, we have this awesome job and responsibility, but it becomes even more amazing when we're able to have these guys in our care and provide them. Yeah.
Well, Gears and Josh, thank you so much for educating us with just your passion and knowledge about inclusion, about working with kids with special needs. I think it's such an important thing. I feel like it's something that we are called to do. But with this, I know that we're going to even be able to take it above and beyond with the experience that we are able to provide all children.